What's up, Wellspring? Thank you for watching this video. Thanks for checking it out. If you were able to come with hang out with us on Sunday, thank you for doing that. If you watched online, thank you. Whichever one, just thank you for being a part of what we do here at Wellspring. What did we look at this past Sunday? So we looked at Hebrews 11, still going through the Hall of Faith, looking at exemplary lives of faith, and we looked at Joseph. And when you hear about Joseph, the coat of many colors, you think of all the acts of faith in his life. He was sold into slavery, has lied about and thrown in jail for really nothing he did wrong, and never really lost faith. And he is an awesome example of faith, but that's not what Hebrews 11 mentions. It mentions that at the end of his life, he talked about the exile of the Israelites and gave direction on what to do with his bone. And at first thought, it's weird. Why is that the thing that's mentioned about Joseph? But when you unpack it and you go back into Genesis 50, you see that around the end of his life, after his father had died, Joseph wasn't in a great time. And his brothers came to tell him about Jacob dying, and they were expecting Joseph to take revenge on all the evil that they had done to him. But Joseph is quick to say, hey, what the evil that you meant against me, God meant for good. The evil that you did to me, God turned it for good, because if it wasn't for the evil that happened to me, people would have died in the famine. They wouldn't have been able to prepare for the famine. So really, the bad that he experienced turned into good. And late in life, Joseph has one more act of faith where he gives directions on what to do with his bones. He says, don't bury me, put me in a coffin, because I want to be buried with my ancestors. And so he isn't buried, he's put in a coffin, and his body is used as a example, as a symbol of what was to come. The promised land, what God had promised. He said, God promised this land to us. We are going to get there. They were about 40 years away from that. So it wasn't a thing that happened very soon. Just a big act of faith at the end of his life, because he was able to remember that even though the Israelites were not going through a great time right there, God was going to use it for good. So my challenge to you was to find a physical item that reminds you of God's goodness. And our big idea was, in the midst of the bad, don't forget about the good. In the midst of hurt, in the midst of evil, whatever it may be, don't forget about the good that God has brought you through already. Because that is our faith. That gives us a reminder of what God can do. And even if we're dealt the worst hand in the world, God can still turn that around and use it for good. Things won't always be great, but it takes away the power when we lose faith. It takes away God's power if we think he can't get us out of this. So thanks for checking it out. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Peace.